What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys had yourselves a good week. Back again with a brand new guest, all the way from the West Coast, I believe. And so, a lot of you may be familiar with this content creator, but for those who are not, tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Olivia, and I am known on social media as Olivia Betty Rain. My middle name's combined with my first name. And I am a cosplayer, about to go full-time cosplayer based in Seattle, Washington. And I stream on Twitch, although I took a little bit of a break this summer from streaming on Twitch. But I do a lot of TikTok, Instagram content. I love making content.
So, oh man, I'm trying to remember. I believe I came across you on TikTok. I think you were doing something Pokemon related. I don't remember what it was,
Can you
but
tell
it
I
caught
love
my attention.
Pokemon?
Yeah, yeah. So it caught my attention. I was like, you know what? Let me see what she's all about. And so we've been communicating for a couple of weeks now, just trying to figure out what would be a good time to get together. And so here we are, very excited. I love your content, especially the Pokemon related.
Yeah, honestly, the Pokemon content is where I really started taking off because I have a bunch of Pokemon pickup lines. Some I've made up, some I've just scoured the internet to find. And that's my favorite type of stuff to make, to be honest.
And so, how long have you been cosplaying?
Oh goodness. I've been cosplaying, I'd say I think my first cosplay officially was in 2015 when I went to SakuraCon in Seattle back in April of 2015. And that was a big deal for me. I dressed up my first ever cosplay. I'm not sure if that was your next question.
No, no, go
Okay,
ahead. Yeah, you're good.
that's what that was my first ever cosplay, and it was a Sailor Moon cosplay, and
Oh,
it was rough. I actually bought the outfit, and I was so excited to have the legit Sailor Moon Supers cosplay. But I was a college student. I couldn't afford to buy the wig. So my sister gave me an old wig of hers, and I tried to make the meatball head buns from Sailor Moon by myself, and it was a mess. It was styrofoam balls, hair, and hot glue, and it looked rough. And I couldn't even afford to buy the like her little brooch, so I took a paper plate and drew it on the paper plate and taped it to my cosplay. And the best part is people were so nice to me at the convention still. They still asked for a photo with me, and they said they liked my cosplay. And it was just such a nice community that I I was a little embarrassed with how bad it was, which is why no photos exist. Only one photo exists of that cosplay. But it was just such a fun experience despite that.
um, what are the cons like in Seattle? Have you or and then second part is like, have you traveled to like outside of where you lived for any cons?
So I started off strong with SakuraCon as my first con ever. And I didn't realize I was spoiled because I have friends who go to cons all over the world and all over the country. And they say that SakuraCon is the best anime convention they've ever been to. And these are people who've gone to Dragon Con, they've gone to New York Comic Con. They just like the community at this one better. And I definitely found that out a little bit myself. I had only gone to that convention for years until I went to one in Oregon, and now I go every year to KomoriCon. And that one's okay. It's just not as big and exciting, and not as I'm gonna say friendly as of a community. SakuraCon is just a great friendly community. And I just went to my first anime Los Angeles this earlier this year, my first ever California
Oh,
convention, and that was really cool. I was just scared because I didn't know anyone there, but I made friends the first day, so it worked out well.
yeah. So you've done those. What are some cons that you're interested in going to that's outside of your area?
I would love to go to Anime Expo. I actually almost went this year. I was this close to going, and then my sister and I decided not to. kind of glad we didn't after seeing how crowded it was. I'm not sure if you heard about how crowded it
Oh
was,
yeah,
but
yeah. I saw TikToks.
yeah, yeah, I saw the TikToks too. I had friends that waited 5 hours just to get into the building.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm kind of glad I didn't go to that one. But I mean, the next convention I plan to go to is this Saturday, Rose City Comic Con. I'll be speaking on a panel there. Or I mean, depending on when this airs, it'll be a Saturday. I'll be going on Saturday, the the 23rd. So that's exciting. I volunteer with this cosplay comic hair group that visits kids in hospitals and cosplays as heroes at random events just to brighten the days of kids from all over
Oh.
the Pacific Northwest. So I'll be doing a panel with them on Saturday, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Other than
Uh,
that, my dream convention would be Dragon Con. I've always wanted to go.
yes, so I actually went for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it was like kind of the first major con that I've been to. I kind of went to one a couple of years ago that like that was near where I lived, but I wasn't like heavily invested in it. I only went because a friend of mine wanted me to go because some of our friends at high school that we were with at the time they were there, and I only went just so I don't know. I just went, so uh, so I went to Dragon Con, and I had a very fun time. It
Good.
was very over. Like I've told some of the people, some people, I was like, it's very overwhelming for somebody who's never been before because it's like massively sprawled out. I think it was like between 4 or 5 different hotels, um, and it was just tons and tons of people there. But after I got my bearings, I really enjoyed it. Some of the guests that I've had on were there, and so we I got to interact with them and meet them. So it was such a fun time.
That sounds so cool. I was going to go to this year with my sister, and then my brother decided to have his wedding that weekend. So darn it, could have been there. We could have hung out in person.
That's pretty selfish of your brother right there.
I know, gosh.
What? So does your sister cosplay too?
Yes, actually, my sister she started cosplaying before I did.
Oh, okay.
We always loved dressing up as a family. Like we had Halloween costumes that we just kept playing with year round. Loved dressing up, but I had never seen a costume for an anime before. And when she was like 10, she bought one online, and we were so not used to shopping online. We had no idea that was possible. She got Sailor Jupiter online, and I was like, wait, that's allowed? That's a thing you can do? So of course I had to go and buy my Sailor Moon cosplay. Well, it took me a while to save up for it, but with $5 a week allowance, it's hard to afford a big hefty cosplay like that. But
Yeah.
she's the one that got me into cosplay because she showed me it was possible. Really, I already wanted to, but she showed that it's possible. So she was a trailblazer in our family.
Okay. Okay. Does your brother cosplay too, or is it just you and your sister?
Uh, he doesn't cosplay. I mean, well, kind of. Every Halloween he goes all up for his costumes, but
Okay.
I'd say he just sticks to costumes on Halloween. Like he makes them on. Yeah.
Speaking of Halloween, what are you do you got some Halloween themed content coming our way?
Every year I tend to do like 5 costumes for Halloween events, between 5 and 6, because every party I show up in a different costume. Um, I intend to have a lot of costume content because I'm gonna go visit my friend in Los Angeles for the whole beginning of October, and I'm just bringing. She's an amazing photographer, so I'm bringing all my cosplays, and we're gonna see what we can shoot, and if we can get into some Hollywood Halloween parties, that'd be fun. We did one a few years ago, and that was exciting. She went as Pikachu, I went as Eevee, so that's kind of my hope to actually go take my cosplays out to the beaches and to the streets because usually my content I shoot inside my house just because it's Washington. The weather's not great here, not where I live at least. So it's hard to catch good lighting when it's not raining. And I'm excited to go out in public and shoot. I'm also nervous though.
So I'm sure it'll be fun. time. I enjoy Halloween, especially doing a bunch of spooky stuff. We're going to like a haunted house. Me and some friends. Well, we're going for a friend of mine's like birthday. We're taking her to a haunted house. She doesn't know, so this should be fun. And
Does she
so
like haunted houses?
you know what? That is an outstanding question. We will cross that bridge when we get there. So
That's a fun birthday gift.
I just love Halloween. Um, so Seattle, what's it like in Seattle?
Right
Other
now
than
it's beautiful. Why the lighting's so weird here. The sun's just pouring straight onto me. But and for those who just picture bright light. Um, Also, for those that are listening, I'm on a treadmill. If you can hear that, I always use a standing desk and the treadmill just helps me game and get exercise. So
Yep.
that's just explanation on the noises. But Seattle, I would say it's hard to make friends here. There's a thing known all over the internet as the Seattle freeze. So that's when people are just a little bit, it's pretty hard to make friends because they're kind of closed off,
Mm.
especially in the winter. That's when people like to hibernate and they just go into their houses and get cozy with Netflix. I am one of them. That is me too. I do that too. That's why the conventions are so special because it's when people warm up and they're excited to meet new people and make new friends. So I really like that. But it's I'd say Seattle is beautiful. It's green, tons of things. If you like to hike and get outdoors, great for that 3 months of the year. Otherwise, 9 months of the year, it rains almost constantly. And when it rains here, it doesn't just rain for an hour and then stop. It literally, you wake up, it's raining, you go to bed, it never stopped raining. It's just
Hmm.
all day. So that's hard that some people can't get used to.
uh, so if somebody was coming to Seattle for a vacation, what? Wait, isn't that giant like Space Needle in what in Seattle, or is that what that is?
Yep, you got it. It was
Oh,
made for like
okay.
the 1962 World Fair or 1961 World Fair. It's made for the World Fair.
Hmm.
But if you
Oh,
come to Seattle, I would suggest you come anytime between June and I'd say mid-September. And then you're going to be hopefully getting good weather. It was a pretty dry summer for better and for worse because, crops weren't doing great, but at least you could go out and swim. So, depends on how you look at it. But that's a great time to come. Just make sure that you don't buy a house while you're out here because so many people, they visit in the summer, they go, this place is great. They move here and then they make it through one winter before they get out. It'd be very,
uh,
very cold, dark winters.
I think the only time, well, growing up, I guess I knew of Seattle, but like after watching Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks, so I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. This is then. I don't know if it's normally like that for people, but this is interesting.
Yeah, I think I heard that they had a hard time with the rain when filming Sleepless in Seattle. I remember hearing about that. So it's it's definitely, I'm not sure. I haven't seen that movie myself, which seems like a very non-Seattle thing to do. Born and raised here, and I've never seen that.
Really, that's
But I
surprising.
mean, I'm like the opposite of that movie because I have narcolepsy in Seattle. So
Oh,
sleepy in Seattle,
okay.
sleepless in Seattle. Whoa, sorry, terrible puns or dad jokes, whatever.
So
So you've never been to Seattle? I
no,
definitely
never.
recommend you try it out.
I think this was years ago, but I I think I was talking to a girl in Seattle, but this was probably like back on MySpace days.
Oh yeah,
So
okay, that's quite some time.
yeah, it has. Yes, it is very, very much quite some time. So, but no, I've never been. I mean, it is on my bucket list because I do like to travel when I'm able to, and so I haven't really been that far out west. The farthest I've been is Colorado. Uh, during, I mean, technically during COVID and during 2020, me and some friends went to Breckenridge, Colorado, and it was such a fun time. The altitude sucks, but we had a fun time going. And so California, Oregon, Washington, I do want to try eventually make it out to those states. So who knows? I'm always trying to find a way to travel.
Remind me, what state are you based in?
Alabama.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty.
I had a relative go to University of Alabama.
Oh,
Roll Tide.
oh, yeah,
Oh
it's
no, you're
very,
not.
very heated rivalry with Alabama and Auburn-based people in this. That is something.
Sorry.
So, listen. That is one thing. If you ever moved to Alabama, you're going to automatically pick a side, and so no matter what side you pick, the other side is going to hate you for the rest of your life, and you just got to be okay with that.
I know it's always a gamble, and it looks like I lost with this one.
Yeah,
Oops.
and so yeah, I do want to travel and get out there because you only got one life, and so you do want to try to live it as best to the fullest as you can, for sure. You so you take. I was like, I think one of the things when I was like just scrolling through your social media and just to try to get an idea about you, I was just like, she takes a lot of beach pictures.
Yep.
So I was just like, oh, this is a lot here, but you look like you have such a fun time. I think you posted one earlier today. You
What
like
did
you
I
had a
post
kayak.
today?
No. It wasn't a kayak. It's more. Well, it's more
Oh
like
yeah,
was it? What's the?
paddleboarding.
Yes,
I
yes,
went
that's what it
paddleboarding with
was.
my dog. So yeah, I've been doing social media since 2017, and at first I was doing just a bunch of part-time modeling
Oh,
and like freelance modeling stuff, and it was streetwear, loungewear, just out in the city. And then when I started posting my first swimwear content, because the brand sent me some swimsuits in exchange for free photos,
mhm.
that engagement was really good. And then I kind of got stuck in the engagement, like the reach for engagement. I will totally admit it. That's why I post so much swimsuit content. But I love the water. So it's not the only reason. I actually do go paddleboarding with my dog, and I do like to swim whenever I get the chance. So it's kind of like usually when I take photos at a beach, right after I'm done shooting, I'm in the water and trying to swim. So that's why whenever I go with my friend in LA, that was the most fun. Last summer, she and I went to the beach. We do photo shoot, then swim right after. And we went to like 4 beaches in 1 week doing that. So it's kind of just because I know it gets the most engagement. And then also because it's more excuses to go to beaches, which
That's true.
I love.
That's that. That is very true. Um, and so what was it in my head that I was gonna ask? But yeah, I was just kind of I know I was just kind of like, man, she really just loves the beach. I know you had like a not like a poll, but you're having everybody like pick out certain swimwear for you to go to the beach. Oh, I guess it was a few days ago when you posted this. Um, and
Yeah,
I was
it's my
just
birthday.
yeah, yeah. And so I was just kind of like, I mean, all of them look good. I don't know how you can just choose just one.
That was fun. A brand sent me a bunch of tiaras and they said, "Hey, can you make an ad about these tiaras?" And I thought, what is a creative way to show tiaras? And because I don't have queen dresses,
Hmm.
I don't have a bunch of ball gowns, I don't have stuff fit for a princess. So I thought, I have a lot of swimsuits. What if I go for a mermaid queen kind of look? So that's what I did there. Just because of all the dresses I have, none of them are princess worthy. So
Hmm.
that was kind of my secret reasoning behind that. Plus, I thought it would engage well with my audience.
uh, so what were you nervous at first when these brands approached you? How does that? I've been curious about like that kind of stuff. How does that work when it comes to like you as a content creator being approached by whether it's like a sunglasses brand, swimsuit brand? How does that interaction go?
Typically, they reach out to me. Well, to start, I've heard a lot of brands reach out through Instagram DMs. and I don't check mine. It has been 3 years since I've
Oh,
last read every single message because when I was driving, I drove to Colorado too during COVID for a road trip. And
oh,
my friend and I, we were on the road for 14 hours one day. And I thought, well, he's driving for 7 of those hours, his half of the drive. How about I respond to DMs? It took me 5 hours to read through all the
oh,
DMs I'd
wow.
gotten. And I realized I don't have the time to do that. So a lot of brands reach out to DMs, and if that's true, then I missed all those opportunities. So that's kind of the risk I'm taking. But I also haven't read a lot of the hate messages I get in there, and there's been
Oh,
so many back when I was reading, and the unsolicited pictures of
oh, yeah,
genitalia I don't want.
that's true.
Those I saw too many of those, so I stopped doing that. Yeah, many reasons I stopped reading DMs. That's a huge reason. But so the ones I do get, they come to me through email, and that's really exciting. Because every day I'll check my, or I try to check my email every day, but I'd say I get between 5 and 12 emails a day, mostly on Mondays. I feel like most of the influencer outreach people,
Mhm.
like that's what their official title is, they reach out on weekends, like it's their side job. So on Monday, I just get a ton of emails, and the hard part is sifting through them to find the actual good deals, because so many of them are just, we'll give you a discount, you buy our product and make an ad. That's not a good deal, and I don't recommend anyone ever does those collaborations, because they're called a, no, what's the word, ambassadors. That's, they're just trying to get you to become a customer. So I
Oh,
don't ever recommend that anyone takes those deals, ambassador deals. You shouldn't have to pay to get a product that you're going to promote. You should be paid to promote, or you get the free product. So that's just my advice there. I learned that after way too long. Um, yeah, mostly just they email me, and I did try to get a manager at one point to do all this for me. I was told that they could negotiate for higher rates, and I did almost get a manager, but I've heard some friends say that they had a bad experience with theirs. So
mm,
I've just been self-managing myself. But it's pretty
okay.
exciting. One day I'll wake up, and then like one day I was with my cousins, Fortnite reached out to me, or a representative, and I got to
Oh,
do an ad with Fortnite, and that was so cool. So sometimes it's really awesome. It also can be just a lot of negotiations. It could take months to get one deal finally done and paid for.
oh, wow. And so the one that you do with the swimsuit brand, how long have you been working with them?
Oh goodness, I feel like our first email started early summer. So it's been well over a couple months for that one. And it's just because uh communications take so long, having to select which products to get, having it shipped, having it filmed, and then the payment. I don't even know when I'll get paid for that. It could, for all I know, it could take the end of the year. So it's always, they always vary. Some people, it takes 2 days and then it's done.
Hmm.
But a lot of these deals, it takes a while.
Okay, yeah. No, I can definitely understand. Like, I mean, I've had guests come on, and because like reaching out, typically if they have an email and an Instagram, I'll send message to both, because just like you, I don't know which one they use more. And so sometimes it works out. I'll get an email from them first, or it's Instagram, because I think I had somebody tell me they this was probably back in March, and I had somebody just replied back to me after I messaged them back in November to come on and do an episode. And yeah, she apologized because I was lost in that hidden messages. And so I was like,
Yeah,
it's not a big
that's a
deal.
scary place. The hidden messages is a scary place.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
get,
so glad
yeah.
Instagram added the blurred image feature. You have no idea how much of a lifesaver that is. You click it once, it slightly unblurs it, and you go, whoa, I do not want to see the rest of that. And then you just delete the message.
I didn't know there
Or
was a
you send a
feature
screenshot.
like that.
What was that?
That's interesting. I didn't know there was a feature like that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, a lot more women should probably use that then. So like I'm just like, I never understand why you just think it's okay just to like do that. Like, what's the matter with you?
I don't know. Strange thing, but
So,
yeah, they just got no confidence.
so you were streaming on Twitch. How long were you doing that? And then what does the future of that look like for you?
Whew, I feel like I started streaming on Twitch in like February of 2021, and I streamed about once to three times a week for 2 years. And then basically this summer, I had to go on a trip somewhere and I had to miss my streams that week. And because the ball kind of stopped rolling, I kind of just stopped streaming on Twitch.
Mm.
So yeah, it became really difficult because after my work day, I started having a really crazy work schedule, working 10 hours a day with my day job at some points, and all the brand deals and all the content creation. I realized I have to focus on something. So instead of focusing on on Twitch, I've been shifting the focus over to TikToks, and it's working out really well actually, because since I made this switch on Instagram, I went from 113,000 followers to 126,000 followers. So I've gained 13,000 followers in the last, I stopped streaming on Twitch back in August. So
Okay.
about a month and a half. That's a big deal. And then TikTok, same thing. I had a bunch of growth, and I think I gained like 10,000 followers over there. So it's working out, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I do miss streaming on Twitch though, because there are some awesome people that I got to talk with every day that were in my chat.
Hmm.
It's just time consuming. I'm able to get so much more done with my time when I'm doing TikToks instead of Twitch, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, yeah. No, I completely I understand that. What kind of games were you playing?
I was playing a lot of Fortnite because I was really enjoying Fortnite. It's funny, when Fortnite had me do the ad, I had never played before. So I didn't really fully appreciate it. And now, man, I wish I could work with them again because that I would be so much more excited. Because I love the game. I got to play with my cousins, my friends, and they joined me and do voice chat while I was streaming. I also played some Minecraft for a while and Jackbox for a while as well. In fact, my whole first year of streaming was just Jackbox, like every single stream. That became a lot. So now I don't play Jackbox for fun anymore because it feels like it's work.
Uh, so so overall for you, what does the future of your content look like? What are some next steps that obviously it's down the line, but what are some ideas that you're currently working on that you would like to eventually do?
Well, currently I am working on as I transition into full-time content creator. That should be happening in the next month or so. I'm predicting. Just because my day job is shifting into a more automized role, so they won't
Uh,
need me pretty soon, unfortunately. So I'm trying to take this opportunity to get materials I can use to make higher quality cosplays by myself. Because before I've been buying a lot of cosplays because I haven't had the time to make them. Now that I'll have more time and less money, I will be making them, and I'm going to get my 3D printer fixed. I just bought a Cricut machine today, which like
oh,
it can cut foam pieces for me. It can cut vinyl that I can, use to make. I'm trying to make my own Team Rocket shirt because the one I bought is just not high quality. So I'm gonna make my own, and it can even cut wood, which is exciting. I'm not sure how I'll turn that into cosplays, but so I'm planning on making more elaborate cosplays. And kind of the hard part is my content will continue since July. It will continue to be mostly anime and Pokemon, which I know counts as anime, but it's gonna be mostly anime and Pokemon related, just because a lot of cosplayers, and myself included, are still not cosplaying characters from struck companies.
right,
So as much as I love my Marvel cosplays, I haven't touched them for months, and I do
right.
miss them. But as someone who's losing her job to automation, I stand with them. So I'm gonna do a lot more Pokemon content, which TikTok is excited for. I can see through the engagement. So I think it's gonna work out.
I mean, who doesn't love Pokemon?
Honestly, I've been obsessed with it since I was like 6. In my kindergarten class, I even wrote, like, I drew a picture of Pikachu and said that that would be my dream, would be to own a Pikachu. And now I own so many, like behind me. However, they're not live. They're the statues.
No, I remember, yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, because I didn't have a Game Boy at the time when when it came out for Game Boy Color, or is it Game Boy? Which one did I think Game Boy Color?
Game Boy,
And so
you know, I think it was Game Boy. I had it for my Game Boy Color. I think it was a colorful game.
I
Now I
think
think
so.
about it.
Because I remember,
Yeah, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and everything was tinted red, if I
yeah.
recall.
Because I was when I was a kid, when I was in daycare as a kid, there were these older guys that were there, and I watched them play. I just probably Pokemon Blue, or it was a red first. I think it was probably red. No, it was red. And so I was just like, oh man, what is this? This is like really cool. And then like I got nervous because they set the Game Boy down while it was still on, and they went to go do something. And so I like started playing it, and I think I ran into either a Pokemon or a battle. And then I was like, oh crap, what did I do? And then I just ran off, and just like I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't break it or something. But then I got my own, and then I think by the time I got my own, the show had just came out. Um, and I just been in love with Pokemon ever since. I've kind of laid off of it a little bit just because yeah, it's just one of those things that's gone on for so long. Like I still love Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things that the show has gone on so long. I've kind of like fell out of interest with it, and until the I guess the overall Ash Ketchum series finale, where he finally becomes a Pokemon master or something like that. And then I was invested then, but I think I kind of fell out with Pokemon around the Diamond and Pearl timeline, and so. But yeah, I love Pokemon. I really love Pokemon. Let's Go. That was fun.
That one was cute. Me, I've always loved Pokemon since I was a child. Obsessive. I've got Pokemon cards, Pokemon plushies, Pokemon cosplays, and the games. I love the games. I'd say about Pokemon Pearl is when I stopped playing the games as religiously as well. Because for me, I have really bad ADHD. I got diagnosed like 2 years ago, and I cannot handle open world games. They distract me so much because I'm the person, even as a kid, I used to have to explore every single part of the Pokemon world. Every single inch, I had to try to find every item. And trying to do that with open world is just so overwhelming. So especially I tried playing I actually beat Pokemon Arceus, Arceus, whatever you call it. I know everyone is kind of split on how to call it, but even Pokemon and the Pokedex differ on how to pronounce it. But I beat that game, not like the final after boss stuff, but I beat the
Mm-hmm.
game, and it was just so overwhelming to do it while streaming on Twitch because I'm trying to respond to messages while trying to pay attention to the game while on the treadmill, and it was really hard. So I haven't relaxed to play Pokemon. I would love if they opened one that was more linear again, where it's clear, like you've seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who likes to see everything, I miss that.
Yeah.
The simplicity.
Oh man, so you must definitely stay away from games like Skyrim.
That's a no for me. Yep, exactly. 100%. I mean, Red Dead Redemption, I played that for just a quick sec with my brother. And well, first of all, he had me kill a beaver. And that was traumatic. Having to watch the little guy die. So that right there was a huge reason I stopped. But just how expansive it is. Like Tears of the Kingdom, I love Zelda games. Loved playing Wind Waker. That's my favorite game of all time is Zelda Wind Waker for the GameCube. But Tears of the Kingdom is just so much that I couldn't finish it. Yeah, I had to put it down. It's just too much. I get overwhelmed easily.
I I've actually never played Zelda before.
What?
Never.
Oh my
I have,
god.
well, because growing up, I was never interested in Zelda. Um, it was just a game. I was like, maybe I'm not all that interested. I mean, now I will probably play it, but it's one of those games that like eventually I will play it, but I wouldn't be upset if I don't play it.
If you're gonna try one, I'd say Wind Waker. It's really cool, and it's like the ultimate puzzle game. It is not an obvious puzzle, but the whole game is a puzzle. So entertaining and amazing. I just love it. So I would say I recommend that one of all of them.
So there's that one. I've never played Kingdom Hearts. Uh,
I played it for a second, but not too much. It was a little too dark for me.
Final Fantasy, I've only played one.
Which one? Oh, the first one?
No. I think maybe. Oh wait, how many are there now? It's like
Oh, there's so
seven.
many. I
Well,
think there's
yeah,
more than seven, but I'm
oh,
not
yeah, there's a
sure.
lot actually. I don't even remember. Maybe like
I'm I'm
three or four. Might have been that one.
I'm cosplaying as Tifa this Saturday. Purely just spontaneous because my friend was gonna bring someone and didn't work out. So he's like, "Do you want to use her Tifa cosplay that I got her?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So I'm gonna cosplay as Tifa this Saturday. So my sister lent me her PS4 and her Final Fantasy VII, so I
Okay.
can finally play Final Fantasy for the first time ever. I've watched her play, but now I'm gonna give it a shot, just so I can familiarize myself with Tifa before I become her. Because I'm a cosplayer, I don't like to cosplay characters I don't know and feel like a connection with. And so usually, sometimes I go backwards. Like Violet Evergarden, a brand sent me the cosplay for Violet Evergarden, and I thought, okay, well, I should probably watch the show before I cosplay her. And I watched the show and loved it. I cried so much. It was so amazing. So sometimes it helps me find really awesome shows doing it that way. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that character really wasn't my favorite. Oh well, I still have the cosplay, but at least I know it. I don't like to because I got accused once of being a poser because I cosplayed Diva and I hadn't played Overwatch yet. In my defense, I owned it. I just didn't know how to set up the system. I'm a Nintendo girl. I'm like, what's an Xbox? But still. So I'm really excited for Final Fantasy. Sorry for that tangent. I know it was a little
No,
random.
no, it's fine. No, you're fine. You're good. You're good. Uh, what? So other than video games, what kind of TV shows or movies are you into nowadays?
I actually haven't watched TV in weeks because I've been doing audiobooks just nonstop. But just constant audiobooks about princes and princesses and all that fun. I listened to the entire Harry Potter series, Percy Jackson series recently, and Game of Thrones right now. That one's something else. But I did just start watching the live action for One Piece, and that is awesome. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I actually finished. Yeah, I finished it like the second day it came out, and so
Oh wow! All right.
yeah, I enjoyed it. Uh, I forgot how old I was, but I do remember when One Piece. Obviously, it was a manga first, and then it became a TV show. I remember watching the TV show as a kid. I think Netflix has like the first 3 or 4 seasons on there. I don't know what season they're in now, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the costumes were great. The cast did such a good job. Obviously, there's like differences between the show, the manga, and the live action show, but I really enjoyed it. I had such a fun time with it.
My I'm watching it. I'm very slow because
It's okay.
it's a whole group that's watching it. It's we're
Uh,
only on episode 3, but my mom, my two sisters, and my sister's fiance, we're all watching it together, and it's awesome. Even my dad will hop in every once in a while and like watch a few scenes. He goes, "I don't like clowns," and leaves. But But it's been awesome. I never saw One Piece when I never watched One Piece as a kid. It just wasn't on whenever I was watching TV. It wasn't like easily accessible. That's why I watched Pokemon. It was on all the time. Sailor Moon, it was on every once in a while. Any anime you had to try to find, I just couldn't because we only had the three channels, right?
Right.
Nickelodeon, Disney, and Network. If it's not on that, you're not watching it. But it definitely makes me want to consider watching the anime just because I'm enjoying it so much.
Oh yeah. So one of the things that I have just learned from doing these episodes with all these different guests and things like that is like the amount of anime that they watch, because they will cosplay and tell me about anime characters that I have no idea who they are. And so I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. Some of the names I've heard, like Demon Slayer, uh, not Metal Gear Solid, that's a game.
Yeah, that's Snake.
Yeah. And so was it, oh dang, what is it? Is it Full
Yeah,
Metal
Full Metal
Alchemist?
Alchemist.
Yes. So some of the names I know of, but I've never watched them, and so I'm always just kind of like, oh, I don't know who that character is, but that sounds like a very cool character. I remember watching Netflix because they did a live action Death Note. Uh, I
With
actually
Nat
enjoyed it,
Wolf.
and I never watched Death Note before.
Really, I heard so many bad things about it. I haven't seen it yet myself. I've almost finished the Death Note anime. And I'm very excited because someone for my birthday this weekend gave me the Misa Misa cosplay, and I'm so
Oh,
excited. But I haven't quite finished the series. I maybe have maybe 3 episodes left till I'm done. So, but I heard a lot of people saying that the live action was awful. So I definitely want to watch it because I remember the actor, he was on the Naked Brothers band back on Nickelodeon. And it's gonna be weird seeing him on that show.
no, it's one of those things where like uh there is a difference with how somebody who watches the anime compared to somebody who doesn't views it. And so uh obviously I said I liked it, even though I've never watched the anime, but obviously those who have watched the anime, you know, they will find mixed feelings about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
anime is definitely a tricky spot, especially when it comes to content creation, just because to people, there's like certain content. If I make a video wearing Captain Marvel and Captain America, like a lot of people can get it, and they understand it and they'll laugh. And those videos tend to do pretty well. I'm not the only cosplayer who's experienced that. More like comic book hero content tends to do pretty well with a larger audience. Animes can be so niche because there's so many different animes to choose from. Really, when it comes to comic books, you've got DC, Marvel. There's not too many like third parties that are rising up there to like compete with it. So they have a lot more notability or recognizability. Is that the right word? Anyway, so anime is just so niche that a lot of creators complain that they don't get that much engagement with they'll make really amazing anime content and like cosplays that are just elaborate, so authentic and so accurate, and they just don't do that well on social media because it only appeals to such a smaller audience, and it can be very difficult, which is what I'm definitely experiencing right now since I've switched to just doing anime content. It's hard. It's very hard because again it's more niche, and but the people who love those animes really love them, so it pays off in other ways.
uh, you're a little frozen on my end.
Oh no, I'm frozen.
I think so. Well, you're, yeah, like froze on an interesting spot, but
It always does. People always tell me, wow, your face looks so weird right now because it froze, because I think I have too many expressions when I talk, so my
hmm.
face just makes the weirdest faces.
No, you're fine. I can work around that in the edits and stuff
I'm
like
used to
that.
it.
So it's not a big deal. But
Happen on Twitch all the time.
but yeah, So yeah, I don't know. Everybody, people are very picky about their shows and stuff like that, and it's just uh like you've probably never I don't you've probably never watched it, but I think this was last year, maybe 2 years ago. But Paramount Plus, they did a live action Halo series uh based off the game and
Really?
things like that. And a lot of people, including myself, I've played the Halo games and stuff like that. A lot of people thought it was all right. A lot of people hated it. I thought it was a very fun show for what it was. Was it perfect? No, but I still enjoyed watching the show. And it's just one of those things, like I mentioned, it's like it's very annoying at times because what people were doing, and it's just annoying when they do it, is that they were hating on the show, but they would watch the show, but continue to make rude remarks about the show. And to me, if I don't like a show, like a movie, or like a game, I'm just not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to ignore it. And so it's just, I'm just like, why do y'all keep doing? I know you're doing it for the views. And they're like, because there were like people in the comment section in some of these videos that were like, well, I haven't, they haven't watched the show, but now they're not going to watch the show after seeing this review. I'm just like, just watch the show and base your own opinion about it. So,
Honestly, I agree. I think as a content creator, there's a thing people say, and even if you're watching the content and doing thumbs down, you're putting hate comments, you're still watching, you're still giving it
yeah.
engagement. So you're still kind of a fan, is what some people say, because you're helping the video grow. Just like they're giving Halo ratings by watching.
Yeah.
So if anything, they're just making it easier for Halo to get signed up for another season. Although I don't think they did get another season.
I
Doesn't
don't, I
sound
don't
like
think
it.
no, I don't think that.
No, but
Yeah.
they're like giving them the ratings that they want. So they're not really achieving what they expect.
Yeah. Because the same thing happened with Velma. And that,
Oh yeah, that was a weird one. That was
yeah.
so weird.
Yeah. But
I was
people
surprised.
were
He's so
just,
angry.
well, I didn't even watch the show. The moment I like saw trailers and clips and stuff like that from it, I was just like, I am not watching this. And for the most part, I grew up with Scooby Doo. I grew up with the only one I didn't grow up with were the original Scooby Doo. Where are you? And
Really?
yeah, I didn't grow up with that one. Uh, there was like a spin-off. I grew up with like a pup named Scooby Doo.
Loved that one.
That's good. 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. What's New Scooby Doo? Mystery Incorporated, which was by far really top tier Scooby Doo content right there. Um, even though there's like 30 Scooby Doo movies, I've seen nearly all of them, but the original three are still the best. Um, so I, so yeah, it's just, oh man, I love Scooby Doo, love it.
Man,
Oh,
it's
and the
like
live
I used to
actions.
it was my favorite. I love Scooby Doo, but I used to watch the old ones with my cousin,
Mm.
and I would be terrified. Nightmares, it scared me so much. But loved Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah,
Definitely, I don't know. Sometimes it's interesting to see the power of the internet, how strong it can be, because sometimes you see it working out where they listen, like with the Sonic movie.
oh my
And
gosh,
when they did the first trailer and they made Sonic look so bad that the internet just memed them
yeah,
so hard. And it worked. The developers went back, they made Sonic look so much better.
yeah,
And it was great. I Everyone wanted to go see the movie. I know I wanted to see it because you feel like you're part of it because you
yeah.
helped to, send that one meme that made them think, oh man, they're right. His eyes do look too small here. So sometimes you see it working out pretty well.
Yeah, and because like Sonic, and obviously because they went back and redesigned Sonic. Sonic's one of the both movies are, in my opinion, top tier, solid video game to movie adaptations, because
Amazing job. Yeah.
they're not very good at doing those. I mean, like Assassin's Creed wasn't really that good. Um, Mario, Mario was good. I enjoyed it. There were some parts that I think uh it it was a good movie. Mario was a good movie, but I don't think it really should have had Luigi in it. I know it was called a Super Mario Brothers movie because he was really not, he was in the movie, but he wasn't in the movie. It was primarily focused on Mario, of course.
Well, picture this. What does Mario do? He saves the princess. This is the first time the princess is saving herself, so he needed someone to save, right? Had to be
You
his
know what?
brother,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's fair. And like I can't. I realized this later because somebody told me. But like when I saw the movie, I was like, I don't know what it is, but Princess Peach's face just looks so off to me. And then
It
somebody told
did.
me when they were making it, they made her head too big.
They made her lip look different. Like they
Yeah,
gave her like the more realistic indent. I don't know,
yeah,
like which makes her look more human, which makes her look less like Peach. I totally get it. Like her face, I was bothered the whole movie because she's always been my favorite character of the Mario series because that was the first time in Smash Bros. I could ever play a girl besides Samus in her suit, and that
right.
was not everyone knew if she was a girl or not, you know, unless you hit her with lightning bolts. But yeah, it was I did that way too much. But I was pretty upset by that.
Yeah,
That for me that was a bummer in the movie. Just make her look like the character.
yeah.
Why fix what isn't broken? She looked great before.
I
There's so many models to be off of.
yeah, and I wasn't too thrilled. I mean, I was fine with it, just watching it, but I wasn't really all that excited for Seth Rogen to play Donkey Kong because he literally just kind of plays the same character in whatever movie he's in. He doesn't
So was
really.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, but at least Chris Pratt he did try his best to do a good Mario, and I thought he did a pretty good Mario. Um, and then what is his name? Charlie Day. I thought he did a great Luigi. Jack Black was the highlight of the entire movie.
Agreed.
So
100%.
love
Fantastic.
him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're probably going to do because it brought in a lot of money. So they're probably going to do a sequel. Well, I think because they're going to probably introduce Yoshi. Um, what else?
Very
What's
excited for
another?
that.
Yeah, what's another movie that recently came? Barbie. I haven't seen Barbie. I really had no interest in watching it, but ton of people loved it. But I think it was more because the brand of Barbie as a toy line and things like that. So
Sorry, my dog's barking because someone's at my door. The Barbie movie, I was so excited for it. I shot TikToks for it. I got
oh
all my
yeah,
outfits planned, picked it out. And the only thing I'll say I was disappointed is I thought it was gonna be totally different. I thought it was gonna be Barbie experiencing using, I don't know, a real shower in the real world. And
mm,
I thought it was going to go that route. I mean, there was a Disney movie that was like that. I think it was called Life Size. So I guess they didn't want to do a complete copy off of that. But I was expecting more time spent in Barbie world because I thought that
mm,
was so cool, how pretty pink it was. And then it was just not what I expected. It was more serious and less like fun and exciting. So I was looking for fun and got a
mm.
lot of serious. I mean, it was really good at making me think, and my family and friends all loved it. But I was like, man, I wanted something fun and happy,
Yeah.
and that one made me think sad things.
Oh
Good.
gosh.
Also, man, I wasn't ready to think that much that day. I think I started crying at one point. It was a lot.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
when you watch it knowing, oh, it's going to be serious and have some serious conversations, um, then it's fine. I went in thinking it's going to be totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, my best friend and some of her female friends, they did like a girls' night out, and so they went out to eat and they went and saw Barbie. And she called me on her way home. And I was like, "So, how was the movie?" And she was like, "Meh," because she's like, the first half was good. Well, no, she said she didn't like the first half, but she liked the second half of the movie.
I'm
But
the opposite. I love the first half. Plastic. She's using a fake toothbrush. Wow. I love that stuff.
so I was like, well, to each their own, you know. So, um, but yeah, it's just but I'm picky about my movies. I don't go and watch just anything. So it all depends.
Same. I only watch movies when I'm on an airplane. Otherwise, I have this weird thing. I'm like, can I sit down and watch a 3 hour movie? No, I can't commit to that. But I could sit and accidentally watch 7 episodes in a row of Supernatural, which ends up being more than 3 hours because you kind of feel like you have the choice to hit that continue watching button
Yeah.
and that commitment. I can't commit to a full movie, but a TV show, sure.
Just
Pop it on.
you just nonchalant turn on Supernatural and be like, well, since I've already got this on, let me just sit here and watch a
Might as
couple
well.
episodes.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know how many guests I've had on, but a lot of y'all love Supernatural.
Can you blame us? Have you seen the actors?
I mean, yes, I have seen the actors, and uh, I was into. I started watching it like a while back, and I was really into it when they were primarily doing like the monster hunting and all that kind of
I
stuff.
agree. Mhm.
But then it kind of, I wish a show does with the story, it kind of elevates itself. But the elements that they brought in, I was just kind of like, I'm not really. I was looking just much for monster hunting, things like that. But man, y'all love.
Totally agree. 100%. My friends would complain about, oh, that's just a filler episode when they're just capturing monsters. That's what I signed up for.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I'm the kind of person, I love Criminal Minds. I
Yep.
love my favorite show is 911. So good. In the 911 spinoff. I think it's like 911 Lone Rangers. Awesome. Every episode is its own thing. They have an event, they have to figure it out, it's done. There's no like, I mean, there's like a huge overarching story, sure, but it's lightly touched on. I like the movies or the shows when it's just the one-off episodes, the
Yeah.
fillers. So when Supernatural became too serious, that's when I started, okay, I'll watch, but I'm gonna also make a cosplay while I watch. So I'll pay half attention because there's too much stuff about Lucifer and oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so much. Lilith.
Yeah. It's just like I signed up to watch ghost hunters investigate a haunted house with potentially seeing an actual ghost there, not to watch a cat knit a sweater. That's not that's
Wait,
not what I
what?
signed.
Who knit a sweater?
That I just made that up. I couldn't really think of a
I was
good.
gonna say, I didn't see that episode.
I couldn't really think of a good like analogy to go along with that. So I just cat knitting a sweater.
Fantastic. I would actually watch that though. So disagree with you there.
Make a
My cat could
cosplay
figure
while
that
watching.
out. Amazing.
Like good, yeah. That's definitely your kind of thing for sure. So so as we get ready to wrap up, what are some cosplays or what are some content that people can expect to see from you within the next couple of weeks?
I am so Tifa is coming up really soon, and I'm very excited for that. I honestly really lucked out because my friend had 3D printed every single piece. And so it's the first time I just stumble into an awesome cosplay like that. That's so cool. Very, very generous friend. But so that's coming up. I am trying to work on a side 8-bit profile of Samus. That's something I want to bring to my KomoriCon
Okay.
lineup in November. So in November, I'm going to have that. I'm also working on something that's going to be either a hit or a miss, but I'm currently working on making, Team Rocket, Jesse and James, I have a giant stuffed meowth behind me, but so he'll be part of it. But I'm working on this half will be Jesse and this half will be James. So I hope to walk around the convention, and when I'm walking towards anyone, they'll probably be wondering what the hell I am. But when I turn to the side, well, that's something else. So that's my, it's kind of random. I'm sure I can make some fun TikToks out of it. And maybe it'll be a waste of 2 wigs. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But those are some things that are coming up. And then soon I am 3D printing a Froppy from My Hero Academia goggles, but my 3D printer broke halfway through. So as soon as I get it fixed, I'm gonna get Froppy up and working.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, that is where we will end this week's episode of Nerd Talk. So very much enjoyed having Olivia on. As per usual, for those who are watching on YouTube, you should see on the screen now how you can follow and support her. But for those who are listening on podcast, how can they follow and support you?
On every single platform, my name is Olivia Betty Rain, and it's Rayn, like what falls from the sky. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, even. I'm Facebook, all over that. And if you could just, I don't know, show some loves and comment, that would be awesome, because engagement's what every cosplayer needs to, kind of grow bigger. So I definitely appreciate any love you guys can send.
And so other than that, you guys be sure to go give her a follow, like I mentioned. Also on the channel, very excited. One of the guests we had on a while back, Athena Rose, she is coming back because we are, for the month of Halloween, are playing some horror games together. So we are playing the Dark Picture Anthology's House of Ashes. So that's gonna be very fun. So be on the lookout for that. But you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you guys in the next video. See you.
Thank you.